If you're listening to the replay of this live, be sure to punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go throughout the video.
Y'all, man, 2 cents be on point. Shit, she be on point, bro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Talking facts. Like, you the first one to say it.
Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's live, we will be discussing last night's fight card with CANELO versus BERLANGA. And Earl the Truth Spence Jr., who has put the whole 54 160-pound division on notice. And is Crawford next for CANELO? But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go throughout the video. All right, let's see who we got in the building. We got All Things. What's going on, All Things? How did you enjoy the fight last night? Hector Solis. What's going on, Hector Solis? We got H Money in the building. Hey, y'all go check out H Money. He got the livest debate panel in the YouTube streets. Make sure y'all check them out. What it do? What it do? We got big old 581 in the building. We got Jarrell Hattie in the building. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Listen, be sure to punch that like and subscribe button. Show some support to the channel. You can always hit me up in the Cash App at 2 Cents Boxing. You can always hit me up in the Cash App at 2 Cents Boxing. So, what did you all think about the card last night? I want to hear y'all 2 cents. What is your 2 cents about the card last night? Let me know and drop it below in the chat. Let me put the link. Let me pin the link to the chat. So, I felt like the card was okay. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing too great, but it wasn't too bad either. I've seen worse. I've seen better. But Caleb Plant really put on a show. If I had to pick a fight, I would say Caleb Plant had the fight of the night. Listen, I was not expecting Caleb Plant to go into dog mode like that. And I'm wondering, like, is that the game plan he had, or was he seeing that he kept getting caught when he was trying to box? So, you know what I'm saying, he just flipped it up. Like, was they working on that the whole camp? Because I've never seen Caleb Plant fight like that. I did not know that he had inside game like that. Dante's boxing talk in the building. He said, really good card. Plant stole the show. Beautiful inside fighting. He said Rolly did what he was supposed to do. A lot of people was hating on Rolly. They wanted Rolly to lose. Hector Solis said, I enjoyed the card. Happy Rolly got a win. I just felt bad for Danny getting destroyed by Laura. Man, I'm gonna talk about that because, like I said, Danny Garcia, he had everything going against him in that fight. Long layoff, moving up in weight. Your pop say you don't spar unless you get in camp. So you coming off a long layoff and you haven't been sparring. I mean, he just had everything going against him in that fight. He looked like his timing was off. Like, you can see the ring rust. And he just couldn't hit Laura. Plant is no bum. He a great fighter. I agree. That was an adjustment. He kept getting clipped. He definitely kept getting clipped. Dragon Assassin in the building. What's going on? Y'all give me a sec. So, yeah, give me a second. My headphones died. I'm trying to get me some new headphones together. Give me one more second. All right, I'm back. Can you hear me? So yeah, Jay Henderson in the building. What's going on, Jay Henderson? I'm dropping this link in the chat. Let me pin it to the top. There we go. All right, Jay Henderson, what's your 2 cents about that call last night? What is your 2 cents? So, I missed the Stephen Fulton card. Anybody want to come up here and tell me about that fight? I missed that fight. But the Canelo fight was good. The Rolly fight, I mean, it was okay, I guess. It was a little slow. And the Canelo fight, I've been hearing mixed reviews about that Canelo fight. Some people felt like Berlanga did a good job and it was a good fight. And I'm just like, Berlanga did he win a round? Do y'all think Berlanga even won a round? Because I'm not even sure if Berlanga won a round. He just didn't get knocked out. And I don't know, I guess when you don't get knocked out by Canelo, that's some type of, saying you did a good job. But Berlanga was a big guy. Berlanga was pretty big. So maybe that's why he wasn't able to knock him out. But he was putting some hands. He got Canelo a couple of times, but I don't see where he posed any threat to Canelo. I never seen Berlanga posing any real threat to Canelo, which is what everybody thought. I think a lot of people are just hoping that one day they're gonna get in the ring with Canelo, and it's gonna be their day. He's gonna be old. He's not gonna have the reflexes. That's if he doesn't retire before then. But I think Canelo is really on his way out the door, and I think he will end it off with a Jake Paul fight. I think Jake Paul will be Canelo's last fight. If you think about it, I keep hearing Jake Paul mention Canelo name. That's the same thing Mayweather did. He went out with who? Conor McGregor. Fighter do huge numbers. I mean, that fight would be massive. That fight would be massive. And you think that he wouldn't rather fight Jake Paul over Terrence Crawford? Stop it. Stop it. Let's see. We got Big Supreme in the building. What up, Big Supreme? Hector say Berlanga hung in there after the knockdown, but I felt somehow, some way, Canelo carried him like he did to Munguia. You think Canelo carried him? I felt like Canelo was trying to get him out of there. I felt like Canelo was trying to get him out of there. Big old Fit 581 say, yeah, Cool Boy showed that he not like that. I mean, it could have been a little ring rust. He ain't been in the ring in a while. He got some time to, he might need a fight or two to get together. Canelo got a chin. Absolutely. He got a beard on him. Says that means Canelo is Mayweather's son. If that was a 12-round fight, Cool Boy would have stopped Castro. How many rounds was the fight? Cool Boy also was coming up in weight. Okay, coming up in weight, laid off. All that stuff matters. You got to kind of take that stuff into account because it does affect these fighters' performances. Now, I thought Caleb Plant was about to get dropped, y'all. I thought Caleb was about to get dropped. I said, uh-oh, this it. Caleb then wrote a check. His egg can't cash. I thought he was about to knock him out. He was catching Caleb Plant. He was stumbling Caleb Plant. He was wobbling Caleb Plant. And I was like, what is Caleb Plant going to do? What is he going to do to overcome this swim move this guy was doing when he was swinging, right? Like he just was like swinging like a girl fight. And then he'd just catch Caleb Plant. Wow. I'm like, man, he didn't drop Caleb Plant. McCumbee was a strong guy. But Caleb Plant decided to start fighting him on the inside on the ropes. I'm like, is Caleb Plant stronger than McCombie? Because, like, and another thing is, why did McCombie even stay on the ropes? Why did McCombie stay on the ropes and try to go toe to toe with him like that when he kept getting popped his ass? You know what I'm saying? Like, why McCombie ain't try to get off the ropes and get him back in the middle of the ring? That was working for him. Tony Review says, to be fair, Jake probably has more of a chance of beating Canelo than Bud. Stop it, Tony Reviews. Jake Paul has not one shot at beating Canelo. We got to, bro. Come on. McCombie got countryman strength. Say McCombie strong as fuck. Oh, hold on. I forgot I got a sound for that. Talking about Jake Paul.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap. That is not happening. But I want a rematch with Berlanga versus Canelo. Why? No rematch. Plant is trash, and they gave him the Devin treatment. Dude got dropped twice, and it didn't count. Then they allowed Plant to hit Buddy 2-3 times after the bell, and then wave the fight off. Laugh out loud. Plant, one of those knockdowns did count as a knockdown, and I don't recall him getting hit 2 or 3 times after the bell. Maybe I gotta go back and look. And then they waved the fight off because dude was out on his feet getting beat up. McCombie was exhausted. He was about to get dropped. McCombie was exhausted. McCombie was looking like an 80s porn star with that mustache. Absolutely. He looked like an imposter. He looked like somebody that was trying to like put on a costume to be somewhere where he ain't supposed to be. And he looked like an imposter. Caleb was setting him up the whole way, and Plant was definitely stronger. Says, Cool Boy was talking like he was going to have power the whole run up. He said he feels more powerful and he wants to rematch Inoue, but his punches had no effect last night. Why would he want to rematch Inoue? That don't even make sense. Y'all want to see an Inoue Cool Boy stuff rematch? I hope Mike doesn't feel sorry for Jake. Man, that's not going to be no real fight. Dragon Assassin official, you right, but Castro was ready to go. Says the ref was biased towards Plant. Says they waved the fight off after the bell had rung. Caleb Plant and McCombie was an entertaining fight. Caleb knew he had to change his fighting style, which was smart. Very smart. That was very smart. Then for him to be even more dominant in a different style that probably wasn't even part of the game plan. I think that says a lot about Caleb Plant. Boy never knew Plant had haters. Laugh out loud. Castro was out on his feet. That's what he was out on his feet. Says last round he almost stopped Castro. So maybe his power did carry up like he said. Maybe his power did carry up like he said, but boxing has been kind of slow, and I'm just waiting on the exciting cards, the exciting fights. Like, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of just stuck in a little limbo. We waiting on the Tank Davis news and who he's supposed to be fighting. Nobody was really too excited about this Canelo card, in my opinion, or maybe casuals were excited. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Berlanga fans were excited because they thought he had a shot, but this just wasn't really that exciting of a card. I was curious as to what Danny Garcia was gonna do in the Laura fight, but he did exactly what I thought it was gonna do, and he got stopped. Like I said, the long layoff, the moving up and when these fights are being made, those are the type of questions I ask now, because especially if you're gambling or betting on these fights, because it makes a difference in their performance when they've been out of the ring, when they coming off coming up in weight or going back down in weight after layoffs. Like, all of that stuff matters, and it's going to affect their performance. And the older they are, the thing that I've noticed is the more it shows in the ring. Danny Garcia was just swinging and missing last night. His timing was so off, he could not even hit Laura. Man. It was like, I think this might be it, Danny. I think this might be it for Danny. Danny might be like, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And he probably wasn't finna go out getting dropped. The marks on Castro's face definitely showed Cool Boy had power. Cool Boy not as pillow fisted as his record suggests. He was competitive until he got clipped by Inouye. Castro slowed down after the knockdown and it cost him the fight. At 2 Cents Boxing, I just counted it. Plant got to land 3 shots after the bell and then the ref waved it off. It was a joke in my opinion. Is Canelo versus Crawford the biggest fight in boxing? Absolutely not. How is Canelo versus Crawford the biggest fight in boxing when they don't even know who the man? He at the UFC, they calling him Kendrick Lamar. Come on, y'all. It's not the biggest fight in boxing. It's Canelo versus plenty. I can name more people that'll be a bigger fight than Terrence Crawford in boxing. Benavidez, Bivol, Beterbiev, Morrell. Come on, y'all. It's plenty of people that it's plenty of fighters that people would like to see Canelo fight over Terrence Crawford. I know his fans want to see the fight. Cool. But nobody wants to see another fantasy fight. Cool Boy body work slowed Castro down and made him stationary. Cool Boy didn't capitalize because he was buzzed from the knockdown. I wasn't interested in this fight card at all. But the best fights were Caleb and McCumbee and Canelo versus Berlanga, not going to lie. So, Dragon, you enjoyed the Canelo-Berlanga fight? I mean, it wasn't really, I'm not going to lie, it was kind of, I don't know. I'm not a Canelo fan like that. I watched the card because, I got to come do my content, got to come chop it up with y'all. I don't want to be out the know. But it wasn't a fight that I just was, I really want to see this fight, or it's going to be a decent fight. I knew the Caleb Plant McCumbee fight, might be a little decent. I thought possibly there was a chance that the Danny Garcia Laura fight might be okay, but I really was like, nah, I think Danny Garcia going to be out of there because his long layoff. So, I mean, I knew Rolly, this was supposed to be probably a showcase fight for Rolly. He was probably supposed to get a knockout, but he seemed to have fell short. So, I'm just waiting on boxing to get these better cards. So, if you want to come up here and give your 2 cents about the fight last night, punch the link at the top. I got to keep it at the top of the chat. Come on up here and give your 2 cents. Alonzo so amazing say you hate Canelo for Berlanga fight, but praise Tank for Rolly fight. Typical Afro double standards. Somebody get Alonzo so amazing out of my chat, please. Dondrick Nim. Is it Dondrick Nim or Dondrickum? If I was Danny, I would have never took that fight and made him look so bad. Laura always been hard to hit. Laura versus everybody. Berlanga versus everybody. Laura beats Bud, and I stand on that. Tank versus Bud is the biggest fight in boxing, no doubt about it. Tank is too small, and Bud is too big for them to fight each other. We will definitely never ever see that fight. I can't go with Morrell and Better being bigger than Crawford fight. Nobody really don't know them two. I'm not a Canelo fan or Berlanga fan, but yeah, they were arguing and going for it in the ring. Berlanga got told to throw hands and something triggered, and Canelo was not having dirty tactics. Yeah, Berlanga was getting a little dirty in there. You know what I'm saying? It was getting a little rough in there. But all in all, people said they enjoyed the fight, so they were entertained. They enjoyed the Canelo Berlanga fight, but as we sit and we wait and we wonder what will be next for Gervonta Tank Davis, y'all let me know and drop it below your 2 cents what you think will be next for Tank. Let's talk about Earl the Truth Spence Jr., who dropped a message on his Instagram yesterday, which was a clip from The Wire showing Omar. And if you watch The Wire, you know who Omar is. And it's like, Omar coming. And he wrote the caption 154 to 160. So Earl the Truth Spence Jr. is putting both of those divisions on notice to let them know that he is back. However, how is he back? Everybody is curious. We got the big question. He got the big question mark over his head. Can Earl the Truth Spence Jr. still perform and be competitive? Can he perform at a high championship level and still be champion? If Earl the Truth Spence Jr. comes back, whether it's at 54 or whether it's at 60, and he becomes a champion again, that's it. He should just retire. He don't got to do nothing else. He don't got to be unified. He don't got to do none of that. He just needs to come back and get a belt and become champion again. And he overcoming has done the impossible. I don't think very many people believe that Earl Spence can come back and become champion again. And if he does that, he is the comeback king. He is the comeback king. Don't you say it's both 2 cents? The Tony's review say Rolly is night and day at better than Berlanga. Laugh out loud, and that's the sad part. Laura versus Crawford is the fight for real. That'll be a good fight. I thought it was interesting matchmaking, but the card was subpar. Somebody get this Alonzo Mason dude out of here. Every time you see him come in here with a different name, just zap this guy. I actually like Berlanga tactics. Canelo gets too much respect in the ring sometimes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Make it a fight. Make it rough. GTD all day over here. 2 cents boxing and boost 2. Says flawless mentality. What's going on? How you doing? Dante's Boxing Talk. I don't know what Spence going to look like. We don't know what Spence going to look like. Bud can come down to 147 and Tank can go up. Bro, that fight not happening, bro. When he comes back, who is he going to fight? And that is the question. I've heard rumors that he's going to fight Carlos Adames. I've heard rumors that he's going to fight the winner of Danny Garcia and Laura, which that don't make sense to me. Listen, I would prefer, in my opinion, just to give my 2 cents, I don't think Earl the True Spence Jr. should come back into a championship fight. I just don't think that's smart. Like, what are your chances of being successful? You're gonna put yourself in a championship fight where everything's stacked against you, like Danny Garcia just did. And we seen what happened. And it's not like you haven't even done this before. Like, why would you repeat the same mistake over and over? But that's just my 2 cents. Zach in the building. What's going on, Zach? I'm worried that Spence won't take a tune-up. He probably won't take a tune-up. Berlanga was smoke rolling them guys 20 pounds apart. Ray Davis in the building says, what up, 2 Cent Boxing? Jay, hope all is well, clean. Doing good, doing good. Hey, 2 Cents, Adame's a better fight. He don't need to fight Laura until last. Well, look, that's the rumors on the street that I've been hearing who's his next opponent, because I've heard from a source that Bud and Fedora will be fighting in September. I mean, not September, in December in Vegas. So I don't think that Errol Spence will be fighting Fedora. And that kind of made me feel like, okay, if he's not going to fight Fedora, maybe he will take a tune up and not just hop back in the ring at championship level after the loss you just suffered, after the long layoff, especially if you moving up in weight. This is the same mistake or the same game we just seen Danny Garcia try to play, and he looked crazy in the ring against Laura. Timing was off. He was slow. He looked sluggish. He just didn't look good. And that's, I mean, I already, you know what I'm saying? I was telling y'all that that's what's gonna happen. You getting older, you taking these longer layoffs, and you just can't do that when you're older. You're not no spring chicken. You're not no spring chicken like that. Teach in the building. What's going on, Teach? You believe Berlanga came in at 193 versus Canelo? Who said that? And but Berlanga looked big. Did y'all not see how huge Berlanga looked? Berlanga looked big in that ring against Canelo. If Berlanga looked like that, then why are we so hard on Mel? Berlanga had to cut weight and look like that. Mel was a little dude, but we dogged him. SMH. Yeah, them people just they wanted Charlo to get knocked out. They wanted him to go in there and fight and get knocked out. That's why. Jay Henderson say EJ definitely need a tune up. He does need a tune up. EJ does need a tune up. But hey, maybe this is his last fight. So maybe he like, forget all that, tune up. This is finna be my last fight and I'm about to retire. Throw me in there, let me roll a dice, let me get paid, and I'm out of here. I don't really see Earl fighting for, 2, 3, 4 more fights. Like, do y'all really see that? I don't really see it, but who knows? We don't know if Earl got a trainer. We don't know. We don't know nothing except he say he coming back at 154 or 160. That's all we know. They say Canelo telling Berlanga F you, mother effer, was too funny when Berlanga tried to headbutt him and Canelo gave him that cross to the face. Hey, Canelo was in there dogging Berlanga. Teach, you had money on Berlanga? Teach said Berlanga was going to beat Canelo. Teach, you had money on Berlanga? Click the link and come on up here. Let's chit chat about it. If anybody wants to, go ahead and click that link. Come on up here and give your 2 cents about last night's card. What you think about Earl the Truth Spence Jr. and his comeback. And is Crawford next for Canelo? Do you all realistically see the Crawford Canelo fight happening? Was there anything you saw last night that makes you believe that Crawford can actually get in there, be competitive, and possibly even beat Canelo? Come up here and let me know your 2 cents. So I'm going to keep my eye on the Earl Spence story, try to dig around and ask some questions. So to see if I could see what's possibly next for him, because I'm definitely curious. Like, is he going to be back this year? Is he going to be back next year? Because that's even longer that he's out the ring. And to be honest, it's like I really don't even have like the longer he's out the ring, the less desire I have to see him fight, because I know and understand, what those long layoffs do and how they affect you as a fighter. Y'all get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. So let's take a look at this clip real quick. Let me see what y'all talking about. Teach, you betting on the wrong fighters, fam. Says, I'm done with the hate for a boxing we claim we love, but we shit on our champs. What that saw the duck is still a duck? Okay. Obviously, I wanted Berlanga to get a gift by God punch, but it didn't happen. I'll say somebody put the article in the chat. I can see do at least one tune-up and one last shot at the title. Then at least he can retire on a win rather than losing horribly. Says there's the link, 2 cents. Okay, I got you. Says teach you wishing that for Shakur too, fam. But deep down, Javante will send him to the shadow realm. Join GTD, fam. Crawford fans are insufferable, man. Why sports betting in the building? Caught you live. Salute, 2 cents in chat. What's going on? Okay, let's check out this. I don't think I can pull up. Hold on, y'all. This link. Let's see what Teach talking about. And if Berlanga was 194 pounds in the ring, he complained about how big Benavidez was going to be. A lot of people are saying Mbile can be next for Canelo. No, I can't get this pulled up. Can't get it pulled up, Teach. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Let me try one more thing. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, it says Edgar Berlanga weighed 193 pounds for the Canelo fight last night. Canelo Alvarez fought a massive cruiserweight-sized Edward Berlanga, who reportedly entered the ring at a gigantic 193 pounds for his title challenge at super middleweight last night. Salvador Rodriguez of ESPN Knockout reports that Berlanga, 22-1, 17 knockouts, rehydrated 25.4 pounds after weighing in at 167.6 pounds Friday weigh-in. That would explain why Canelo failed to knock Berlanga out, because fighting a cruiserweight. Ideally, protocol should be in place to prevent weight manipulation like this from occurring, because it's dangerous for the fighters who are fighting someone competing so far below their natural weight class. Berlanga should be competing at light heavyweight, not super middleweight. Inside the ring, Berlanga looked massive compared to Canelo, which wasn't right given the size difference between the two fighters. I told y'all, Berlanga looked huge in there. With Berlanga's size, Canelo didn't possess the power to knock out a fighter that didn't belong in the 168-pound division. Berlanga should be fighting at 175 at the very least, if not in the cruiserweight division. Light heavyweights rehydrate to the upper 180s to the mid 190s for their fights, but you don't hear much of super middleweights putting that weight on. Again, this is another reason the sanctioning bodies need to enact a strict 10-pound rehydration limit to prevent fighters from gaming the system by fighting well with their frames to gain an advantage over smaller fighters. Okay, so basically they're saying that he came in the ring huge last night and that because he had all the weight, Canelo failed to knock him out. So that's pretty big, right? 193 pounds in the ring at 175. I mean, at 168. That's crazy. That's crazy. So let me see where I left off at. Speaking of Shakur, we got to talk about that video. I'm going to pull up that video. We take a look at that video and kind of analyze it. Benavidez and Berlanga probably the same size. I know, fam, just trolling you, fam. Like I said, may the best fighter win. Says no 2 cents. Bud is trying to rob the game of our money. I'm done supporting these fake fights. Fight the guys that are trying to fight. I don't care if Bud gets a lot of money. He ain't sharing it. Absolutely. Benavidez is 215 in the ring. What? When he fighting at 168? How? Says, let me find a Twitter. Ninjas want Bud to get a retirement check. Snack Berlanga is on that snack pack. Well, I think Berlanga is on the snack op pack because he works with Memo Heredia, I believe. But correct me if I'm wrong. Says, never mind, you got it, but Benson tweeted it. Says Berlanga was 200 plus. McGinn is better than Berlanga for sure. Berlanga with Memo like Benavidez, they both rehydrate 30 pounds. Canelo is a beast. Then beating on fighters way heavier than him. Salute Hector. Says Benavidez was 189 after his last fight. We got the Melvin Air podcast in the building. What's going on, Melvin Air podcast? How is everything going? So hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Hold on, give me a second. Now, there are a lot of people or a few people that have asked me about this. and they wanted me to give my 2 cents on the situation. So this is my 2 cents about the Shakur Stevenson situation. I've watched the video of his hand getting hurt a couple of times, and like people keep wanting to say that's fake, that's fake. I don't think that the video is fake or that he's faking an injury. And this is what I've heard on the YouTube streets, that he got a lot of backlash for the Joe Cordina fight, and he didn't feel like the fight would do good numbers, so he faked the injury. And first of all, what I want to say, and what's extremely weird to me, and again, this is just my 2 cents, is that they tried to put an undercard on pay-per-view.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
They literally tried to put an undercard on pay-per-view. Unbelievable. So a lot of people feeling like, oh, he tried to get out of that situation because maybe he felt like it wouldn't bode well for him or end well for him. I'm not sure. I'm not here to speculate on that. Well, what I do believe, and again, my 2 cents about the situation, is that Shakur Stevenson has been dealing with these hand injuries. And again, I don't know for sure. I don't got no sources. This is just my 2 cents. But I believe that he's been dealing with these hand injuries. And because I heard Tim Bradley say recently that Shakur probably has injuries that he's not telling nobody about. He's probably had these injuries since he was in the lower weight classes, but they didn't affect him as much, or they didn't bother him as much, or he was, creating these injuries. And then when he moved up to 135 and start trying to punch harder, and the opponents were bigger and they were punching him harder, the injuries that he had in his hands started to become more and more prevalent. If you notice a pattern, his last few fights in the 135 division, he's had some issues with his hands. And so now he is to the point to where he can't continue to fight with his hands injured. He has to go ahead and get the surgery to repair the injury completely in order to be able to keep competing. And that's my 2 cents. That's what I think is going on, is that he's been injured and he just been going and going and going because he didn't absolutely, how I've been an athlete my whole life. Sometimes you can have an injury that you can still be competitive with. You don't got to just go get it fixed right away, even though you should. But what end up happening is you keep competing with the injury and you make it worse and worse and worse. And then you can do something as simple as push somebody with a body shot, and now you're like crimpling over in pain because this injury you should have been got taken care of, but you just let it linger. So that is my 2 cents about as far as his injury goes. I don't think he's faking it, but I do think that it pulls us further away from the Tank fight. And I know a lot of people still like, oh, he gonna beat Tank, but Shakur Stevenson is not going to beat Tank by not getting hit. He's not going, because you gonna get hit. You're going to get hit. So the theory that he's not going to get hit and he's going to win, I don't believe that theory. And the fact that your hands are so brittle and now you having to have surgery on them, you've been injuring them, I don't think you're going to be prone in the future to let your hands go more. I think you're going to let your hands go even less now. And the fight with you and Tank would just be a bad style matchup, because what are you going to do to keep him off of you? Like, what are you going to do? Let me see what y'all 2 cents saying in the comments. Look, feel free to click the link. Feel free to click the link. You can definitely support me in the Cash App, 2 Cents Boxing. If you're liking what you're hearing, if you're liking the show, be sure to let me know by supporting me in the Cash App. And if you can't support in the Cash App, you can always punch that like and subscribe button, because those are ways you can support the channel, and they are absolutely free. So that's what I think about the Tank and Shakur fight. I think we're further away from that fight than we were before the surgery. Because if anything, you already know it's not going to happen in 20. It's not happening in this year, 24. He got to heal. He got to do this. He got to do that. He got to get a couple fights in. He still owe Eddie Hearn 2 fights, all of that. So it probably won't happen in 25. So we probably won't see this fight till 26, 27. We probably won't see this fight till the end of Gervonta Tank Davis's career, if they ever fight. If Shakur Stevenson doesn't lose before then, and even if he loses, I think they should still fight. Berlanga with memo like Benavidez, they rehydrate 30 pounds. Canelo is a beast, beating on them fighters heavier than him. Says Benavidez was 189 after his last fight. I called Danny getting stopped. We definitely said that yesterday, Melvin Air podcast. A lot of these guys make me think they really can't fight that good. They are just weight bullying. When they go up to their proper weight class, they look average. They not that good. That's why I don't like Brandon Figueroa. He's like 5'10", fighting at 122. What the F? Hey, listen. He's tall and skinny. My son is tall and skinny. He's tall. He like 5'8", fight at the smaller weight classes. It's not his fault that he's tall and skinny. Some people's frames is just small. He's small, skinny, wiry, quick, got a lot of power, and you'd be surprised. Big Supreme say, I think he faked an injury. I don't think he faked it, Big Supreme. Says, I'm happy that Shakur is not fighting Cordina. That was so disrespectful by Hearn, and Shakur nearly fell for it too. And then Dragon, they was going to put an undercard on pay-per-view. They was going to put an undercard on pay-per-view and make y'all watch it. Here, $15. B-Dog in the building. What's going on, B-Dog? Shakur absolutely faked us out. I've boxed, and a hand injury never made me fall out and roll around on the floor. Boxers are built different. They don't crumble like that. Uh-oh. Well, Shakur's a crumbler. Shakur's a crumbler. I think Shakur's problem is technique. He not punching correctly. Now, Big Supreme, somebody said this to me yesterday, that Shakur Stevenson not punching correctly. And I'm like, dude, you're training with Terrence T. Bud Crawford, the quote-unquote best fighter on the planet, and you're training with him and you not punching correctly? You hanging out with Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather. Y'all got the photo ops together, and they helping you and advising you or whatever they doing, and you not punching correctly? You around some of the greatest fighters in our era, and you training with Bud and you're not punching correctly? So Bud just watching you punch incorrectly to the point that you messing your hands up? It don't make sense. Says, my first thought was that they were looking for a way out. Says, I feel as though he dropped out the fight because he didn't want to go in there looking lackluster, running around due to injury. I saw a video or a stream where Shakur said he's always had hand issues. Unfortunately, I didn't save it, and I can't find the exact one. Come on, Teach. We need that. We need that source of information. You got to search YouTube high and low and send me that video when you find it. And he's always had hand injuries, which is what I just said. And I never heard him say that. Zach B, what makes it look even worse though is how he lands by putting both hands down on the floor with the weight on it. That's how much pain he in. He can't think straight. Says that injury he has, if he really does have, take time to heal. Once it does heal, it won't be the same. That's what I'm saying, man. We not gonna get that Tank fight, y'all. We missed the window of opportunity. I don't think Shakur. Listen, if Shakur knew he had hand problems, why he ain't been make the Tank fight? You know you got hand issues. He didn't want it, y'all. He didn't want it. The backlash and lack of interest for Shakur versus Cordina was probably too much for Hearn and Turkey. There's this UK YouTube channel that said no one cares for Cordina, and the UK comments agreed. Well, why would they even make the fight in the first place? That's what I don't understand. Big Supreme say drop the link. Oh, I thought the link was pinned to the top of the chat. Hold on, why y'all ain't saying nothing? I thought the link was pinned to the top of the chat. All right. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Please come up here and give your 2 cents on the topic. All right. We got in the building.
What's up, 2 cents?
No, Big Supreme.
I'm chilling, I'm driving or whatever. I just wanted to ask some things because I got a lot of thoughts on a lot of different topics.
All right, let's get
And
your 2 cents.
I wanna touch on the Canelo thing. Now, a lot of people criticize Canelo. They say that, his punching power is not real. He's fading away. You gotta realize, right? He's fighting dudes that's rehydrating 30-something pounds. Mungia, Berlingo, Caleb Smith, all of these dudes rehydrated to like 200 or 190 on fight night. So my thing is, these dudes are not gonna get stopped. We already know that extra added weight adds to your punch resistance when we look at like Devin Haney and stuff like that. So it's like, I think Canelo's a complete dog. Like when I sit down and think about it, he gets a lot of unwarranted criticism. They saying he's cherry picking, he's doing this, he's doing that. But who else is fighting in a fourth weight class, fighting naturally bigger men? And he's been doing that for the last 5 or 6 years. So now this bleeds into like
But
the
hold on,
current
hold on, hold on.
fight.
Before you go in on that point, what about? I feel what you're saying about the fighters and their size, and I agree. But what
Yeah.
about the skill level and the experience of these fighters? I think that's what people are having a problem with.
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And the reason why I mentioned Brandon Figueroa, I do agree that some people are naturally built skinny. When you look at someone like Fandora, you look at someone like Hamza Shiraz, like some dudes are just like very, very lean. But 5'10", you fighting at 122, there's really nobody down there really like that the casual audience would know. So he's beating up on Mexicans and Japanese dudes. I get that, but why he don't go up to 130? He could clearly fight at 130. He's about 5'10". He rehydrates to about 140 on fight night. So I just never was really a fan of Brandon Figueroa. I feel like he just overpowers his opponents at that weight class, in my opinion. I feel like when he gets up to like 130, 135, he's gonna have real trouble on Brandon Figueroa. But back into Canelo, like I don't want to see that fight for Crawford. Like I don't think it's gonna be competitive at all. I predict that he's probably gonna do him like Amir Khan. When we look at Crawford, we seen a fight with Majimov. He looked at human. Everybody's keep focusing on the Spence performance. Yes, he put on a spectacular performance. I didn't think Spence was gonna get washed like that at all. And I felt like we got recency bias where it's like, all right, we think that skill level could translate up 3 weight classes. I don't see that. He came in the ring at 169 versus Madrimov. So everybody thinks, oh look, he could fight at super middleweight. But then you realize these dudes is rehydrating up to 193, up to 200 pounds. Canelo's not gonna struggle with Crawford at all. I feel like he's gonna get ragdoll. I think he's gonna stop him before the 8th round. I don't feel like Crawford has anything that Canelo's gonna respect or didn't see. Like I said, he fought
I
Bivol.
agree.
He fought Bivol. He fought Caleb Smith. Caleb Smith is like 6'3". He rehydrates up to 200 and some pounds. Like he's ragdolling dudes that are way bigger than Crawford. So I don't see, and Crawford's not that kind of guy where he's gonna move around like a Shakur, move around like a Lara. I don't see him doing that. I see him like eventually settling down. His ego's gonna get the best of him. He's gonna get in a fight with Canelo, and Canelo's gonna put him down. And my thing is, if we want to see that, like the general consensus is, we want to see that fight, then I do want to see it. And I want to see Crawford get knocked out because it's like everybody think this dude is Superman. That's all I've been hearing. Like the last couple of months, oh, nobody could beat Crawford from 160 to 168. Maybe he could go up to 175. I've seen certain content creators say, and I'm like, where's
Stop
this
it.
coming from? That's what I'm saying. Where's this coming from? That you think this man can move up? That's why people say, all right, people call Floyd Mayweather a hater. But he's like, all right, if you feel like you that bad, why don't you go fight Benavidez? Oh, nah, that's too much. All right, then go fight Morrell. Oh, nah, y'all want Crawford to get beat. So my thing is, we want Canelo to fight Benavidez. We want Canelo to fight Morrell. We want him to fight Beterbiev and get his rematch with Bivol. But then when we tell Crawford, I bet, you want to skip the line? Why don't you go up there and fight Andrade? Why don't you go up there and fight Benavidez? Oh, nah, they too big. So why you want to fight Canelo? Isn't that cherry
Yeah.
picking?
Yep. We got Coach Eddie in the building. What's going on, Coach Eddie?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
So what's
I
your 2
think,
cents for the show? What you got?
well, I think that people always talk about size in boxing. This is a misconception about size. I boxed for probably since I was 17 years old. And I'm like, I've been boxing my whole entire life. I trained boxers. I have my own boxing
Hold
gym.
on. Let me catch this cash app. You got a $20 cash app from Y Sports Betting. It says support for the channel. Thank you, Y Sports Betting. Appreciate the cash app. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I was in good shape, when I was boxing, I was 6 foot, 175, 180 pounds. And I always had tremendous success with guys that were 6'4", 6'5", 230, 240 pounds. I stopped literally probably 4 or 5 guys that were that big. They outweighed me by 50 pounds. I had trouble against guys that were small, that was shorter than me and that could move around and could maneuver. So people think just because a guy's bigger doesn't mean that it's just a bigger target. And once you get used to fighting bigger guys, it's easy because it's a lot to hit there. You can't miss them because they're so big. That's why Tank had a lot of success fighting these bigger guys because it's a big target. So people get hung up on size too much. Look what Usyk did to Tyson Fury. Look what Usyk did to Anthony Joshua. You're talking about a guy that's giving up 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds to some of these guys. So just because you're bigger than somebody doesn't mean that you're going to just figure out that guy's going to dominate you because of size. That's bullcrap. It's just you're just a big target at some point in time. And like even with Berlanga, he did okay. To me, he didn't come to win. He came for respect. He was fighting for respect last night. And he was fighting for and not to get knocked out. And he's going to kick himself when he go
You
back and
mean
look at
he
that.
didn't come to win because he couldn't, or he just didn't come to win, period?
He didn't come to win, period. Now, I'm going to tell you why I know he didn't come to win. Even his corner didn't think he could win. You go back and listen to that second round, his corner said, when he came back after that first round, his trainer said, was it everything that you thought it was going to be? You're going to have to go through hell to get this. Who tells their fighter that in the second round? You're supposed to keep this guy's confidence up. Make you doing good. Put this guy up against road. You back him up. And that's I never seen Berlanga really back him up and put Canelo in the corner. Because when you put Canelo on the back foot, he's a different fighter. He's a different fighter. He's a he likes to come forward. That's his bread and butter. Come forward, come forward. You got to offer resistance, and you have to back Canelo up, and you have to put him in the ropes. That's how Bivol was able to beat him up. He backed him up. He put him in the ropes. Then when you get a man up against the rope, he basically turns into a heavy bag. That's when you open up on them and you let your hands go. Yeah, and like I say, he came to fight for respect last night. He wasn't trying to win that fight, and especially after he
So
got
you
dropped
saying
in
you
the
think
third.
he could have won the fight?
I'm not saying he could have won the fight. I think he could have did more. I think he could have did better than what he did because he had opportunities when he let his hands go. He had success when he was pumping that jab. He was busting Canelo up with that jab. And it's like he allowed himself to get. I think the moment got too big for him. Cause think about this. Think about how many times when him and Canelo were sitting there face to face, both of them with the earmuffs on, and they're just waiting. Nobody's doing anything. They're just like taking a breath, like making a silent agreement. Okay, I won't punch. You don't punch. Instead of him working, because Canelo had his earmuffs on too. That was his opportunity to let his hands
They
go.
they both was looking tired.
That's what I'm saying. It's called a silent agreement. Okay, let's both take a rest. You know, okay, let us get back to it. It was more like a sparring session. Just it looked like some good work. What it looked like last night. A guy who came in with a sparring partner mentality, who was kind of happy to be there, and didn't get knocked out, didn't embarrass himself, and made he Berlanga came to make a good showing. He didn't come to win, in my
What
opinion.
what did you think about the McCumbee Plant fight?
Yeah, that was a crazy fight. Shoot, man. Well, it is. I mean, uh, Plant outclassed him. At the end of the day, he outclassed him. He was the better fighter. McCombie was kind of just a raw guy. He was strong. It seemed like that he did hurt Caleb. I think what was that, the second round or the third round, where he caught him and kind of had him shook for a minute, but the referee called a slip or something. But like I say, he was just a raw, strong guy. He wasn't polished or anything. But like I say, it is what it is.
Okay, okay. So when before you hopped up, we were talking about, or before Big Supreme hopped up, I was talking about the Shakur Stevenson hand injury, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with the video, but I want to get your 2 cents on his hand injury and how you think that this affects the Tank fight.
Yeah, I've seen that. But it's like I say, it's gonna push the fight back at least a year, a minimum of a year. So it's
You
getting
think
to
it's
the
gonna
point
happen?
that, to be honest, it's almost getting to the point where I really don't even care if it happens. To be honest, because Tank doesn't need Shakur at all. Tank can keep on trucking and keep moving. It ain't like people are just sitting there salivating, waiting for Shakur to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like he's getting to that low. He's becoming obscure. He's gonna mess around. He's gonna be like one of those guys. Like who cares? Coming back. He's
Like
gonna
Devin
fall into.
Haney?
Yeah, he's gonna fall into that Demetrius Andrade category if he keeps it up. That's what's gonna happen with Shakur, because and that hand injury, all that falling around, all that falling down on the ground, that's weak. They look like LeBron James flopping.
He was
Like, man,
flopping. He
yeah,
flopping in
man,
the
come
ring.
on, bro. You didn't see it?
Yeah, I seen it. I said the same thing. Like,
Yeah,
why you
that's weak.
flopping in the ring?
I mean, if you hurt your hand, yeah, but the biggest thing, you might turn your back. You'll be like, man, hold up, bro, something like that. I hurt my hand, but you ain't falling out on the ground, rolling around like somebody shot you with a 22. Come on.
Ah.
I mean, it almost looked like it could have been staged, like his hand was already hurt. They said, okay, let's get the camera ready, let's do a little sparring. I'm like, act like I hurt myself, and it was too dramatic. I'm not saying his hand injury isn't legit, but I'm just saying that part looked like it was staged.
Well, I think my 2 cents. I think he was already hurt. That just kind of took it over the top. Cause that little body shot, you got them big old gloves on, your hand been messed up. You probably should have been supposed to have surgery.
Yeah,
So,
that's that.
so speaking of this too, and I want to get y'all 2 cents about this too, chat. So I just seen an interview with Eddie Hearn speaking on Devin Haney, and basically saying Devin Haney is outpricing himself for the fight. I guess with Liam Perot, he wants 4 million, I believe. I'm not sure if Eddie really wants him to fight Liam Perot right now. He's kind of telling Devin, like, you might need to take like a tune up, so to speak, a fight to get your confidence back up and take $1 million payday. And I guess they not trying to hear that. They feel like, hey, they should get paid. So I just want to hear your 2 cents and chat 2 cents. So anybody willing to click that link to come up and tell me what they think about that. We got H Money in the building. What's going on, H Money?
What's up, H? What's happening, brother? Yeah, I mean, I think Devin at least stay active, man. Every time, I think that's the problem with all these fighters, man. I mean, yeah, it's good to be about your business, no doubt. But you're a fighter at the end of the day, and what happens is you get that inactivity. You're sitting there waiting around for the big payday. 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, 16 months, then you get beat,
Hold on,
and then
real
you're
quick.
making.
Y'all make sure y'all check out my boy H Money channel, one of the best debate channels out here in these YouTube streets. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and check him out. H Money, drop your link in the chat. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, all this, and it makes you get inactive, and a lot of times these guys are sitting on the sideline waiting for a big purse, and then when they come back, they wind up getting beat or something, and then the first thing they want to say, "Oh, it's ring rust." I mean, you had an opportunity, to fight. I mean, sometimes you got to take those stay busy fights. I think a lot of times these guys are in
Well,
their mind.
Angel Garcia say Danny Garcia been out the ring for 2 years because of politics. He wanted to fight.
Yeah, that happens too. That happens too. So I mean, if you got an opportunity to fight, for $1 million, you know what I'm saying? It's a stay busy fight for $1 million. I mean, especially if you're not like a big draw on like a Tank or a Canelo, where you can command those type of numbers. Somebody offer you $1 million just to stay busy to get in there and shake the rust off. Hey, why not? We seen guys do it. We seen, Sean Porter, fight pay-per-view that he'll be fighting on just a regular Showtime card. Just staying busy. Because at the end of the day, last time I checked, $1 million was a lot of money. It ain't like it's chump change. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think you should stay busy. I think you should stay busy and fight. Stay active. I mean, we seen Anthony Joshua. He fight for $80 million, then he'll turn around. He'll fight for $10 million. It's the same type of thing. Hey, I'm gonna have a big payday, and I'll get a stay busy fight for $8 million or $10 million. Just staying active. I think that's the key. These guys need to stay active. Stay in the ring, stay active. That way you don't give yourself a chance to get out of shape. You don't get a chance to get all that ring rust accumulated, and then you come back saying, "Oh, I was rusty, my timing was off." All the usual excuses that the guys make when they have long
But they not
layoffs.
excuses though. That's facts though, Coach Eddie.
Yeah, but a lot of the time these guys have opportunities to fight and they turn
I
them
hear
down.
you. I hear
You,
you. I hear
you,
you.
so you
Hector
want to stay.
Solis say, hold on, let me read this comment. I don't think Devin gonna fight Paro. Eddie not gonna let Devin come back to a loss. I can see Eddie setting up Devin with one of those Euro dudes. Yeah, Hector, but he don't want to take that Euro dude payday. He don't want to take the Euro dude payday. So I mean, I'm interested. Like I said, since Devin announced that he was coming back, I was interested to see what's gonna happen and where is his career gonna go, because you got all these demands, and I mean, you was a tad bit delusional, which is kind of what got you in the situation in the first place. Just to give my 2 cents, thinking that you and Ryan Garcia can run numbers even close to tanking what Ryan Garcia did. And now you're coming back saying you worth $3-4 million a fight, when Eddie like, no, no, no. We need to get you some confidence boosters so we can get you back, because you probably went through something with that loss you just suffered from Ryan Garcia, especially mentally. I think mentally he's defeated with thinking you the face and you gonna do this and you gonna wash Ryan. Like, I think mentally that has to do something to a boxer when it just doesn't go the way they even thought it could possibly go.
Yeah, I mean, look at Cool Boy. Cool Boy fought on a preliminary. He was a main event fighter. He just came off a pay-per-view, and now he went and fought on a preliminary card just to to shake the rust off, just to stay active. Same thing with Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, he wasn't a main event. He wasn't a co-main. He was on the he was on the pay-per-view card. I think he was right after Rolly.
Yep.
So sometimes it's just about staying active. You know what I'm saying? You got to put your ego aside and just stay active.
We got Supreme L in the building. What up, Supreme L? Yeah, but that's the thing. The ego is what's gonna kill them, man. That's what it's looking like. Why Devin not calling Turkey for money? See, and Eddie Hearn addressed that too. Eddie Hearn said it's cool, Turkey will pay you, but Turkey not finna pay you big money to fight the confidence booster guys. So the narrative is kind of changing on Turkey and exactly what his role and space is in boxing. Now it went from Turkey gonna pay them fighters what they want and this and that to Turkey gonna pay you, but you gotta fight the fighters he wants you to fight, just like any other promotional company. Shakur was getting 5 million, right? Turkey got that for the face of boxing. No, Shakur was not getting 5 million. Eddie Hearn came out and said, debunked that and said that was not true. Hector says, well, Devin is going to either take those lower fights or sit on the shelf. No one is going to lose money on him until after he proves himself. We're going to see. We are going to see. Coach Eddie, what do you think that Devin has to do to prove himself and get himself back to those big paydays? Oh, hold on. Let me bring somebody to the stage. We got Big Supreme. Hello? Hold on. We got Big Supreme back on the stage.
What's up? You can hear me?
Welcome back. Yeah, I can hear you. So what's your 2 cents? What you got? We cooking on Devin right now. And what Devin needs to do in order to... Did you hear what I said about Eddie Hearn about how he wants all this money, but he needs confidence booster fights and like $1 million fights. They're not going to be willing to give him $4 or $5 million for these type of fights. Not even Turkey, because Turkey wants him fighting the fights that's more competitive and the fights that he want to see.
I actually agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I feel like Devin, I don't know, this certain fan bases, I feel like they're very delusional about their favorite fighters. I feel like Devin is one of them, Shakur is one of them, and definitely Crawford. But with Haney, I know we do a lot of jokes, we are upper page and we be having a lot of jokes about Haney and stuff like that. But seriously, he really got hurt really bad in that fight with Ryan, to the point where he had the Bambi legs. He even got face planted. We was questioning why they didn't stop the fight. Just because, it came out that Ryan had ostarine and we went through the whole VADA thing and they got the laws overturned, that doesn't mean that it wipes out the perception of what we saw. Everybody showed that fight live. So it's like, you want to come back. You didn't even take a year off. This is like a couple of months, really, essentially. And you want to go and fight Paro? Now, I'm not saying Paro is a world beater and Devin won't be competitive, but just a couple months ago, Matias was the boogeyman. Nobody wanted to fight Matias. Everybody was ducking him. Whether it was Tiafimo, whether it was Haney himself, everybody was saying he ain't fight nobody. But really, they were scared. This man, Matias, literally killed somebody in the ring. So now, you look at someone like Paro, he went in there, weathered the storm, and got the victory. I think Paro's a lot better than we thought he was. He's a lot better than we thought he was. So now, with Haney coming off that defeat to Ryan, I don't think that fight is going to be competitive. I don't think so. I think he's going to get in there, he's going to try to box, and Paro's probably going to catch him, he's going to knock him out. And the fans don't want to see that. It's the same thing when the IBF announced that William Skull would be the mandatory challenger for the IBF, and Canelo basically vacated the belt. The fans was complaining, look, we don't know who William Skull is. We don't want that fight. So Canelo listened to the fans and said, you know what, all right, I'm not going to make that fight. I'm just going to vacate and move on. That's what you got to do. Now, with Haney, you vacated the belt and voided Sandor Martin. When you could have got probably like $1 million for that fight, I think that was a good comeback fight for Haney, a good tune-up.
Do you think he does stand up, Martin?
I think going off of what Eddie Hearns is saying about him wanting $4 million and he felt like he should get 2.5 up front and stuff like that, you can say it's a duck, but I feel like it was more like a Canelo situation. It was like, I ain't going to fight this dude because I'm not going to get the money I want. Nobody really clamoring for that fight. There's no excitement behind it. But in the situation that Haney experienced, I think that was a good comeback fight for him. Come back, redeem yourself, look good. I think he could beat Sandor Martin. Or it would have answered a lot of questions for us. Like, you could have gotten the ring, because, Sandor has sneaky power. He dropped TFE on twice. He has a nice left hook. We all know that Haney's a sucker for left hook, so he probably could have gotten the ring with Sandor, and the residual effects from that fight with Haney, Sandor probably would have stopped Haney. We don't know. So I feel like Hearns is making a smart business decision by saying, look, bro, take this mill up front, take that fight against Paro. If you beat him, you unify. You solidify to the fans that the Ryan fight was a fluke and it was the Osterine, and you move forward in your career. You kind of is outpricing yourself, because Paro's not really, he's big in Australia, but there's, like, who's going to pay for that $4 million purse? We just seen Eddie Hearns. At least what I'm saying is Eddie Hearns is consistent. We seen what he did with Boots just now. Nobody wants to see that Cameron fight. People say, well, he lost the purse bid and he didn't really want that fight. But who's gonna bid $2+ million on a fight for Cameron? Nobody's gonna do that. That's like you losing money, basically. Cameron's not a big name. He's not a ticket seller. The casual fan base has already seen what he did against Boots, running around the ring. Nobody wants to see that again. So it's like, I like that Hearns say, you know what? I'm not paying for that fight. Same thing he told Haney. I'm not paying for that fight. Fight doesn't make no sense. It's not financially feasible, so I'm not going to go that route. So at least Hearns is consistent from what I've seen. I see people say that Hearns is a snake. He's trying to line up black fighters, and he doesn't know how to promote black fighters. And I want to touch on this subject real quick. I think Hearns is doing a very, very good job. Now, I get it. People want to be pro-black. They want to say that Hearns is not this, he's not that. But this is my thing. When I look at the young crop of fighters coming up, you look at a Shakur Stevenson, you look at Haney, you look at even like a Tevin Farmer, you look at what's the guy he got from New Jersey that was a great amateur, Khalil Cole. You look at Raymond Ford. All of these young, talented black fighters, they didn't get the opportunity from nobody else. Nobody else went and snatched those dudes up. But Hearns seen the potential in these kids and said, you know what?
Right.
I'm going to invest in these dudes, and I'm going to put them in the limelight, and I'm going to give them the platform that they deserve, and they can show their talent. Raymond Ford is a beast. Why he didn't get snatched up by Top Rank? Why he didn't get snatched up by PBC? Hearns seen that and said, you know what? I'm going to snatch him. He's a Super
They
Bowl
probably
champion.
didn't want to go over there.
You think so?
I mean, you just never know, because Shakur was with Top Rank. He went over to Eddie Hearn. Why? Boots had the opportunity to go to PBC. He went over to Eddie Hearn. Why?
I think because Hearns developed a little reputation of overpaying fighters. And I feel like in his position, he kind of has to do that because the market is already cornered by Top Rank, PBC, and Golden Boy. They already got America on smash, basically. So for him to wiggle his way into America and snatch up some of these talented fighters, he kind of got to overpay them. And from what I've seen, Hearns appears to be very personable. Whether we think he's a snake a lot or not, he's very charismatic. And I feel like that the fighters, for some reason, they got a connection with him. For some reason, the fighters connect with Eddie Hearns for some reason. I don't know. They seem to like him. They talk highly about him. Even Shakur said when he was over there, he liked the energy. He liked how they was treating him. So Hearns got to be doing something good behind the scenes that these fighters is liking. So now, my thing is, he kind of has to overpay a little bit. Because like I said, like PBC got, 154 on Smash. They got Canelo, so they got 168 on Smash. They got certain weight classes we already know PBC got that. And Top Rank, they kind of got like a monopoly on the Mexican fighters. They got a monopoly on like the young dudes coming out, the amateurs, the great standouts. So it's like, what is Eddie Hearns really supposed to do? So now, Eddie Hearns not being able to get these kids big fights, I don't think it's because Eddie Hearns is a incompetent promoter. I just think that these dudes is cornering the market and trying to keep him out from doing that, in my opinion. Now, Al Heyman, he doesn't make a lot of public appearances. He doesn't really speak at all. There's no interviews with him on the internet. But he's very shrewd. He's a great businessman. And I'm not saying he's blackballing Eddie Hearns, but the options are slim, basically, in my opinion. Now, if I'm a young fighter coming out the amateurs or a young fighter looking for opportunity, I will go to Top Rank or I will go with Eddie Hearns. Because you look at like JoJo.
It depends on what weight, because Eddie Hearn ain't really got no 35 pounders. Eddie Hearn ain't really got no 54 pounders. It depends on the division.
Now you're right about that. He kind of doesn't have any 35 pounders, but he does. But they like UK fringe domestic level dudes. Like, but as far as like the American stand-ups, no, he doesn't have that. I agree with that. But my point on Haney and Hearns, I feel like Hearns is correct in his assessment of saying that you don't deserve no $4 million for Pyro coming off that loss to Ryan. I don't see it. I don't think nobody wants to see that fight, in my opinion. And nobody's gonna pay him $4 million to fight Pyro. So if I was Haney, I would suck it up and not take it personal and say, you know what, he's right. I gotta prove myself. I gotta come back and show the fans that I am who I said I was. Because Bill and Haney, they was running around saying that Mayweather era is over, Tank is overrated. We giving you the fights you want, and this, that, and third. So you gotta show and prove. So he took that loss to Ryan. It came out that it was the Osterine, and he got suspended. So that loss is kind of like an asterisk. But he can prove without a shadow of a doubt he is who we say he is. If he come back, take that little short money, fight Sandor or fight Pyro, in my opinion. But that's my 2 cents on that though.
Coach Eddie, you got a response to that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot that he's saying. I'm saying these guys need to seize the opportunity while it's at hand, because, like I say, 2 or 3 losses, you'll be on Showbox. Chris Colbert is on Showbox. I'm not knocking Showbox because I love. I grew up a lot of around boxers. I know a lot of guys who are just trying to, feed their family. You know what I'm saying, taking fights or whatever. But you take a couple losses, you be on Showbox. Jared Hurd just fought on Showbox. These guys were former champions. What's the other guy? Rosario. He was on Showbox. Chris Colbert on Showbox. I know a lot. I know a lot of guys fighting on Team Combat League. Rashidi Ellis is fighting on
Richard
Team
Ellis,
Combat
definitely.
League. So I'm saying, so a lot of guys. Michael Hunter is fighting on Team Combat League. A lot of guys that we seen on TV. Money Powell fighting on Team Combat Leagues. Showtime went out of business, and this boxing thing is getting slim now. It's slim
That's a
pickings out
fact.
there. So for you to be turning down $1 million, Devin Haney take a couple losses, he'll be on Pro Box. Keep it up, you'll be on Pro Box. You know what I'm saying? And even with Brian Norman Jr., I love him. I'm an Atlanta guy. I think he should. I think he should have tucked the fight.
I
I
think
believe
so
he should have
too.
tucked. I believe he should have tucked the
But I
fight. Bet
think,
on
and
you.
that's what I
Bet
think.
on yourself.
Eddie Hearn is kind of like, hey, you take a couple of these confidence booster fights and you go right back in the fight with Ryan Garcia because that's your money fight. All this other stuff you talking
Yeah.
about, that ain't your money. Them ain't your money fights, and you can't finesse people no more because it's really not a demand to see you fight like that. You gave up your belt, which was your only leverage you had. So how you gonna give up your leverage and then come back and be demanding big paydays when you don't got no leverage?
That's a fact.
He gave up that belt because he can't defeat the scale. Devin Haney should be 100. Should be fighting 147. When he did that interview with Andre Ward, they almost looked the same size. And I know Andre Ward is a 200-pound man, easy.
Really,
And
Haney
Devin
should
Haney,
be at
and
54. Really.
he should be I mean, by at least 47. I mean, you walk around trying to squeeze your body down to 140 pounds. I mean, Devin is what, 5'8", 5'9"? You tell me you
Yeah.
can't fight at 147 pounds? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. You rehydrating up to 165. You putting on 25 pounds overnight. And you telling me you can't go up to 147?
Yeah, because you got to think, right? Crawford
Ariana in the
rehydrates to
building.
what?
What's going on, Ariana? Thanks for hey, real quick, make sure you help support the channel. You can always monetarily support the channel by hitting in the Cash App at 2 cents boxing. If you're unable to support in the Cash App, because I know not everybody's rich or everybody has the means to be able to do that right now or today, you can always just punch the like and subscribe button or just share the content. All of those are free and they're all ways to help support the channel.
I would have supported, but I ain't gonna lie. Canelo not getting a knockout last night hurt me. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel you. I feel you.
I
Well,
said,
make sure you punch
damn,
that like
Melo.
and subscribe button.
Oh man. After that first knockdown, I got hyped. Then I seen he started cruising. I said, damn, I'm gonna lose this money, man. And I definitely lost that money. But to your point about Haney, right? We seen Crawford rehydrate up to 169 at 154. This dude is at 140 rehydrating to the same size. Like, I think that's crazy, in my opinion. Like, I know people say, well, he never missed weight. He's a professional. he's this, he's that. That's to me, that's like, yo, bro, you rehydrating 30 pounds and you still not knocking nobody out, which is crazy to me. Like, I don't know how you got this much of a big advantage over these dudes and you're not stopping them.
Hold on, let
That's
me
crazy to
respond
me.
to Teach real quick. He says, I think Eddie is the best promoter. Honestly, he just don't have the fighters to show it. So, one, if he was the best promoters, he would have the fighters to show it. And two, he now has Ennis and he now has Shakur. So those are definitely fighters that he should be able to show how great his promotional skills are. You got Shakur, who already came to you, who was already quote unquote one of the best and this and that, and he's gonna be a this and a that. So he already had that buzz kind of following him. You have Boots Ennis with the same buzz kind of following him. So these aren't even fighters that you gotta build from scratch. Like they're waiting to be built into superstardom. So if Eddie Hearn is as good as you say he is, he should definitely be able to achieve that with them. Oh, hold on, y'all. We got Tony Reviews in the building. What's going on, Tony Reviews? How is everything? Can you hear me?
Yo, is it me or did everybody go out?
No,
Nah,
can
nah,
Nah,
you
we
hear
we
hear
can
me?
hear
y'all.
you, bro.
We're
Go ahead.
here.
Okay, all sound went out. I was just jumping on to say,
Yeah, let's get
I
your two
agree.
cents.
I agree. Eddie does not deserve to pay Devin any big payday. Did y'all not see his last fight?
That's what I'm saying.
Of course, we seen it for sure.
What was his last fight?
He got
Ryan
face planted.
Garcia.
Nope, nope, incorrect. That was not his last fight. His last fight was at a circus, a fair, you know, getting
Oh,
on a
you
ride,
stupid.
and he hit some fat short dude and couldn't even hurt him.
You stupid. You stupid.
So yeah, judging off the fair fight, I wouldn't give him no money either. I need to see if you even got anything left, because it don't look like you do. That little short dude took on you and like five other people and walked away.
Yeah, he definitely walked away. You funny. But yeah,
What?
now go
I
ahead,
mean,
bro.
at the end of the day, boxing is a business, and it's like it doesn't matter. I mean, if Devin Haney was a draw, he would get the money that he wanted because look at Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua lost, and he got paid next. He got paid more money the next time he fought because he's a draw. If you're a money maker, they're going to give you the money. If you don't make any money, if you don't put any butts in the seat, if you don't sell any tickets, you ain't gonna get that money.
Huh?
It's just plain and
I'm
simple.
going upstairs.
You know that
What's
that's what it's
that?
all about. At the end of the day,
That.
boxing is a business.
Listen, you see me come out though, right?
Hey, I'll try to hop back on. My phone keep going in and out.
All
Thanks for
right,
letting me
cool.
on. If y'all can hear me, but I'll try to get back on if y'all can hear me.
All right,
We
peace
hear you.
out.
All right. Cool. And even with far Eddie Hearn being a good promoter, I mean, he's a good promoter. A lot of people think being the best promoter mean that you had the best fighters. But we already see that the best fighters only fight once a year. So what we supposed to do in between time? Just sit there and twiddle our thumbs and wait for Tank to come back, or
Well,
wait for Shakur to
I
come back.
just learned that they not fighting once a year necessarily because they want to. That's just how it go because of the type of fighters, like the fighters they are, the competition they fight, and the type of event that has to be put on for them to fight. That's why they're fighting once a year
I
or
mean, but
twice a year.
look at Canelo. Canelo fought 4 times in 1 year. Josh was fighting 3 to 4 times a year. So at the end of the day, when you that draw, when you that guy, when you making that money, like it or not, these guys are money making machines. They got corporate sponsors, they got endorsements, they sell out 100,000, 100,000 in the arena next year. I mean, next week, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, they sold that place out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so at the end of the day, when you a draw, every time Tank can fight 3 times a year if he wanted to. He just don't. I mean, if Tank want to fight, they can make that fight just like that. It's up to him. It's up to his handlers.
No, no, these people turning down these tank fights.
But they need to sweeten the pot up. But they want to stay busy. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. It's all about staying active. At the end of the day, like I said, activity. Because you sitting there waiting on these guys to come back. Like I say, out of sight, out of mind. I've been enjoying the rehab season fights. I don't care about the fighters. They don't measure up to the guys that are in my mind, the legends that are in my mind. None of these fights that have been putting on, I would go back and rewatch. I would rather go back and watch a fight from the 90s or the 80s than go back and watch any fight that I've seen in the last 5 years. None of these fights are rewatch worthy. None of them will be an ESPN classic. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of fights that they putting on right now. I got something to compare to. These younger casual fighters just now getting in the game. They think these guys are the cat's meow. They think they are the best thing they ever seen. They can't have nothing to compare to. I know what's going on. I know it's smoke and mirrors. But like Eddie Hearns, he's staying busy. He's putting on show. A promoter puts on shows. That's what it's all about, the show. Not necessarily about the fighter, about the show. And Eddie Hearns is doing good shows.
Somebody got a lot of background noise. Hit the mute button. And Teach, how can you say no one turning down Tank when Lomachenko just dropped out the negotiations? How can you say no one turning down Tank when Loma literally just dropped out the negotiations? So we got VA Money Group hopping up on the panel. What's going on, VA Money Group? VA Money Group, what's your 2 cents for the show?
Yeah, once again, I mean, I don't know what it is about black boxing fans that their only concern is how to put down black fighters. Talking
What you
trash
talking
about
about?
Tank Davis, talking trash about Devin Haney. Here's the thing: if you don't like Tank Davis, if you don't like Devin Haney, don't watch. Nobody's forcing anybody to watch these guys. These guys are here.
But who's
to
talking
fight.
trash about them? You just mean in
I'm
general?
just saying in general. I'm just putting
okay.
it out in general. This is my 2 cents. Yeah, you don't have to watch. The same way a lot of you guys, none of you guys will ever say negative things about Jaime Mugia or Raymond Muataya or any of these
Nah,
other
they
natural
was
fighters.
going
not
pretty
gonna
hard
lie.
they was going pretty hard on Jaime Mugia
Yeah,
before the
we go
Canelo
really
fight.
hard on Mortal. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Ain't nobody talk shit
get the
about
criticism.
Muataya.
We don't even watch those. We don't even watch
All
those
these
guys. To
fighters
be honest,
get
man.
criticism, bro. All these fighters get criticism.
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, bro. But we criticize Magia, Zerdo, Muratala, Zapata. Like we could criticize them for fighting Maxie Hughes and Tevin Farmer. So it's like it's probably louder because it's like echo chamber. You probably like are on black YouTube channels, and we don't get to see like the Mexican dudes that talk about boxing, or white dudes that talk about boxing. So we're not in that.
No. So look, I actually I'm subscribed to a lot of different boxing channels. This is my only really sport that I follow.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be, there used to be a guy named Killer Be Killed, a Mexican guy. Used to be a guy named what's the guy CCD, What Rep It, the Mexican channel. So I've been on more Mexican panels than on black panels, to be honest with you. I still know a lot of those guys. What's the assessment? They support their fighters and they trash black fighters. They sound just like you guys. You know what I mean?
So what's the difference then?
The difference is, as an African American, you support. Listen, I've been on here since like 2007, 2008. You're supposed to support your own. Nobody else. You can go to Japan. They support their own. You can go to the
But
UK.
what do you mean by
They
support? Because if we watch the fighters, we talk about the fighters. Like, what do you mean by support? You mean like don't criticize them? Like saying they're above criticism? Because that's really, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you come on here, is they're gonna get, if they do something, I'm gonna give my 2 cents about it and criticize them. And most likely I'm paying more attention and keeping up with the African American fighters versus the other fighters, even though some of them I do. But for the most part, that's the market that fighters.
When I think about it, no, they don't get criticism. Lomachenko, Monster, etc. There's a list of fight. Triple G. There's a list of fight. They don't get criticism. People, they look. So I'm not a boxing business guy, right? I don't know or care about the business of boxing. I just want to see the product. I want to see Tank fight. I want to see Keyshawn fight. I enjoyed the fights. You know what I mean? I break down the technical aspect of the fights. I'm not up here to talk shit about these guys they don't fight good.
So my question
or
to
some
you
other
is, right?
bullshit.
Because I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but who are the black fighters that are getting unwarranted criticism, in your opinion?
I mean, every black fighter that you guys in the last 10 minutes that you guys brought up, Tank, Devin Haney, all of them get unwarranted criticism. Look at the
They don't fight enough,
resume.
bro. You fight once a year, man.
Look at the resume of Monster Inoue. We just saw a bad decision with Stephen Ford. I love Stephen Ford, right? Because he's a black fighter, obviously I follow him. But that wasn't the best decision in the world that we watched yesterday.
No, he lost.
Huh?
I thought Stephen Fulton lost that fight.
I mean, he got dropped in a 10-rounder. You know what I'm saying? But look at the resume of Monster Inoue. This whole country, they call him the pride of Japan, for crying out loud. This guy for beating up Fulton and a 40-year-old, he's the pride of Japan.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people hate on Inoue, but he has a very good resume, bro.
He does not.
It's a sound. Why does he not have
objectively? I'm sorry. Objectively,
how many star boxers does Japan have?
Right now it's him and Junto.
Now there's a couple. It's Junto. It's Nakatani.
So you're telling me it's no Japanese fans criticize Inoue? Like you wouldn't know that because you're not in their market.
You wouldn't know that.
No, I do know that because I'm subscribed to Japanese boxing content creators. But which
right, so this is my thing, right?
There's a guy out there that speaks English. They have one content creator. He actually speaks English. They don't criticize me. Damn, what are you talking?
All right. So this is my thing, right?
Huh?
I don't want to make it seem like this is what I'm saying. Like when we talk boxing, I don't want it to be no black solidarity thing where it's like if I speak highly of an Inoue or a Better Biev or a Bivol, it's like, well, you're a sellout. I don't like that narrative. But my
no. That's not what I'm doing.
I'm just saying.
What I'm doing is I'm trying to create some kind of balance, right? So I praise Monster.
Look, VA. A lot of what you're saying holds a lot of merit, but then when we look at Inoue's record, right, his resume, you might say that he ain't fight nobody, but Paul Butler was a champion. He was unified. You got Paul Butler, you got Donaire, you got Jason Maloney, you got Louis Neri. All these dudes is former champions. All were champions when he beat them. Just because we don't know who they are, because they're at the lower weight level, doesn't mean that they're not somebody. You dig what I'm saying? And look, when he beat Donaire was about like 37. Crawford is 37. We want him to fight Canelo. So that's like a double standard right there. And
no, it's not a double standard.
It is because Donaire was the fighter of the year, right?
Middleweight and bantamweight.
It doesn't matter though, bro. He was the man at that weight class.
You can't say that. You can't. So bantamweight is the same thing as heavyweight. Is bantamweight the same thing as heavyweight?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Are you going to have the same age group as
Nah, this is what I'm saying, brother.
At that weight class is like heavyweights. So all weight classes are the same.
It doesn't. So what you saying? Like if you fight at 122, then it's a wash basically. Like you try.
It was 118 that they fought at.
Nah, no, it's bantamweight 118.
And he was 38 years old. It's 118.
All right, but Crawford is 37, and we want him to fight Canelo. So what's the difference, bro? So you telling me if Boots fight Crawford right now and beat him, it's not going to count because Crawford's 37?
Dog. All right, listen to what I'm saying. Right, and you can choose to dismiss it, but listen to what I'm saying.
I'm just saying,
at 118, at 118, you cannot be a 38-year-old fighter. Period.
Wow.
You can't say that because Donaire was coming off of like 4 straight knockout wins, bro.
He's Donaire, yeah, but he's still not what he was.
He's the man. Like he was the fighter of the year.
Nah.
He was already a legend. He was already a Hall of Famer when he fought him, and he gave him
We're talking in circles, dog. We're talking in circles. Donaire.
We're not talking in circles because what I'm saying is this, right? Donaire broke Inoue's orbital bone, bro, in that fight. So he showed that he still had a lot left in the gas tank. Then when you look at a Billy Joe Saunders, when you look at a Danny Dubois,
this very next fight he got beat up by nobody.
You're not letting me finish my point, brother. Like, let me get this off. When you look at Danny Dubois, when you look at Joe Saunders, they got their orbital bone broke. They retired in the corner. That boy Inoue fought through that and still won. I don't think he get enough credit for what he's doing. Now my thing is this, right? I get it. I feel like, in my opinion, it's like American xenophobia. Where it's like, all right, this dude is Asian. He can't be that good. But then when Fulton went over there, they complained about the hand wraps. He said, all right, cool. I'm not going to wrap my hands that way.
No,
he did it and still knocked him out.
Nah, he still wrapped his hands that way.
He did it. The coach made a whole big thing about it. And it was, all right, cool. I'm going to wrap my hands how you wrap your hands. And he still knocked him out.
So, hey,
the thing about
listen,
the thing
that was
about
not my
school.
point. My point is, I had a point. I said my point that his resume is wanting. You named me 2 guys, and then you start talking about Paul Butler or somebody that we didn't know
I
Paul
named
Butler
multiple
and
dudes,
stuff like
brother.
that. These guys are not good fighters.
I disagree
These
with
guys are
that.
not good fighters.
They're
So,
champions.
so you say you disagree?
Yeah, they're
Listen,
champions, bro.
no,
Just
listen.
because they're fighting people their size and their weight class, and they became champions. I can't
No,
take that
I'm
away
not.
from them.
I'm not saying that Monster sucks. I'm not saying. Listen, to what I'm saying. His
All right.
resume is wanting. He's suffering from the same thing Terrence Crawford was just suffering from. Terrence Crawford went through the same thing. Okay, you got Gamboa.
I
Who else
don't
you
agree
got?
with that, brother.
It was the same thing. We said the same. If you were on the internet in 2016, 2017, 2018,
All
Terrence
right.
Crawford was catching the same hell. You don't have a resume.
I'm gonna tell you why it's different. I'll let you finish your point, though. I'm gonna tell you why it's different.
All right, yeah, y'all go ahead and wrap it up because we.
Go ahead, bro. I'm gonna let you finish your point, but I'm gonna tell you why it's different.
Oh. Listen, all I'm saying is that you can't get fans like you with as many like the fans with your opinions on their own fighters on as many panels as there are for black people who want to denigrate black fighters in any other group. This I know for a fact, right? I've been out there, right? It's not a thing. Everybody supports their own.
But what do you mean by denigrate? Like, are we denigrating them?
There's
If our opinion,
that people
hold
say,
on. If our opinion is okay, well, this fighter, I don't feel like he's fought a lot of heavy competition in his resume. That's not denigrating.
No, it's not.
This fighter should fight this fighter, or this fighter might be ducking this fighter. That's not denigrating. Like, what do you mean when you're saying these fighters are being denigrated? That's where you're losing me at.
I think he's looking at he's talking about those fanboy channels that can do no wrong. Like Canelo to me is smoke and mirrors. You go to a Canelo fanboy channel, Canelo can do no wrong. So you're not going to fanboy. It's just like LeBron James. If he goes out and he has a bad night, he's going to get criticized. Just like a football team, their team goes out, they have a bad night, you're going to get criticized. It's sports, man. That's what people do in sports.
Boxing is different. Boxing and football and basketball is 2 different things. What I'm saying is the type of
you're gonna get more criticism in boxing because we don't see you often.
The type of discourse that us as black quote unquote fight fans have is quite different than the type of discourse that any other group has. Period. That's all I'm saying. Take it for what you will. Take.
All right, so I want to address what you were saying about Anyway. Basically, what you're saying is Anyway is suffering from his own success. But the reason why I think it's different because when we look at Crawford, right? Great fighter, very talented, Hall of Famer. I get that. But you look at a Kai Velasquez, you look at an Evanesian, you look at a Felix Molina. These dudes is really nobody. They never was champion. They relatively unknown. Now, Evanesian has a decent record. He beat Josh Kelly. He beat a couple of dudes. But you look at Anyway, Louis Neri, champion. Paul Butler, champion. Jason Maloney, champion. Like, these dudes are champions, bro. So now, just because they at a lower weight class and we don't know them because, like, for example, Maloney's from Australia. Louis Neri's from Mexico. We're not going to know these dudes like that, but they're still champions. And they have
you watched them fight? Maloney is not good. Have you watched them fight?
Yeah, I watched Maloney fight, bro. Maloney's all right, bro.
Good. You just compared
generational.
You just compared him to Evanesian? You just compared him to Evanesian?
You're stating an opinion like it's a fact. You can't state an opinion like it's a fact.
It's not
you can't. You're stating an opinion like it's a fact. It's not a fact. That's how you feel. That's an opinion, bro.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Paul Butler,
it's not good. If that's the case, how come when people rate their top 5 all-time heavyweights, they don't say Rocky Marciano? How come? How come you don't have Vladimir Klitschko in there? How come? You know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy is that Monster Anyway himself knows what's going on. He knows that he has to fight better competition. He tweeted it out before he fought Floyd. He knows that, like, you guys are defending like a shadow. Like,
we're not defending nothing. Hold on, bro. You came in.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
Hold on one second. It was a guy by the name of Roy Jones who suffered from the same thing. Roy Jones got criticism from Harry Letterman, from every goddamn time he fought. Roy, when you gonna fight somebody? Roy, when you gonna fight somebody? He said, I am fighting somebody. I just make them look like nobody. So Roy, I mean, this is what we're doing right now. This is barbershop talk. This is something that just started. They've been talking like this since the 60s. My fighter is better than your fighter. Nah, this is nothing new, dog.
Networks,
barbershop talk, man.
You're not talking about fans. You're talking about some guy that got paid to drive a narrative from a network. That's not the same as me. I'm not like a merchant.
All right, so my thing is this, right? Who do you want anyway to fight to prove that he's that guy?
It's not his fault. I just told him it's not his fault. There's nobody there. He has to move up to 26. There's nobody there. The same thing.
So what happens when he goes up to 26 and does the same thing? That's going to be a 6-weight class.
Yeah, that's good. But what we do have is that he skipped a weight class full of killers. We got that, and then nobody knows why. All the guys, all the names that were down there in those small weight classes were in the same weight class.
Like Estrada and Chocolatito. I ain't gonna lie.
Chocolatito, the year that Monster moved up, Chocolatito was fighting in Japan. Go figure.
All right, y'all want to get y'all last words off. Hey, that was a good, nice little good debate we had going. But it's almost time for me to get ready to hop off. So I want to let everybody get a closing thoughts off and drop your final 2 cents. Big Supreme, what you got for the show?
I ain't really got much to say. I like what VA saying. I agree with a lot of his points, but I don't feel like black fighters are getting unwarranted criticism. You know what I'm saying? Because when we look at like for example, like you said, like Anyway or Biv or Better BF, they don't really even got a social media presence, bro. They're not arguing with the fans. They're not going back and forth with Twitter accounts and going on interviews and calling people out, and they're not doing none of that. They just working in the lab and they doing what they got to do. They show up on fight night. You look at a Haney, he got his father. He's running around disrespecting everybody. He's calling Ellaby a spook. He's calling Mayweather this and that. He's talking about people's kids. I don't see Lomachenko's father doing that. So that's why I think they get the criticism that they get. Like Shakur Stevenson, he disrespected Kenny Ellis's daughter. You look at Teofimo, he told Tank that, oh, you a D sucker and you got dick sucking lips and you a this and that, and now it's brother talking. Give me an opportunity. This is the reason why these dudes get the criticism that they get. I can't find an interview of Bivol or Better BF telling another fighter to SMD or you a coward and this, that, and third. I don't see that from none of them dudes. So when I look at a Haney getting to fight with carnival workers, they jump Ryan's sparring partner. You look at Shakur Stevenson, he had the situation when he had to fight with the girl at the gas station. I can't find these things with these other fighters, bro. So that's why I think that the channels go hard on them. They're giving them content, really, for real. If I could go on YouTube right now and see a video of Haney fighting a carnival worker or jumping a sparring partner or getting caught with a gun, does that make me a coon because I'm calling what he's doing out? No, you're doing that. I'm not telling you to do that. So that's my thing, and that's my 2 cents, basically.
All right, thank you for coming up, Big Supreme. Hope to see you next show.
Definitely.
All right, Coach Eddie, what you got? Close us out. What you got for your 2 cents?
Yeah, kind of like what Big Supreme said. At the end of the day, to me, it's barbershop talk. You know what I'm saying? It's called content creator for a reason. You got to have something to talk about. We can come up here and we can fanboy for all the black fighters, and we can say they perfect. They walk on water. We can do a lot of Canelo channels are like that. Canelo can do no wrong. But at the end of the day, these guys are saying they're the best, but yet they're not fighting the best. They saying they want these astronomical amounts of money, but then they only fighting once a year. They, like I say, they going back and forth with the fans, calling people out. One of them even said F the fans. So I'm supposed to ride for this dude that said F the fans. We the one that put the money in your pocket. So it's just like, I don't know what is this. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy, bro. Like, people get you're a sports figure. You're gonna get criticized. You're up for a critique. You're a public figure. If you're in the public, you are up for critique. Whether you're a politician, whether you're a rapper, whether you're an entertainer. And if Usher goes out to Super Bowl show, oh, I didn't like how he danced the next day. Critique. Whatever, or whoever it may be. White people get critiqued too. Oh, that music sound trash, like trash. They didn't do a good job. Oh, they were flat. Whatever. It's just criticism. At the end of the day, it's content. It's barbershop talk. It ain't that deep. As far as I'm concerned, just entertainment. And like I say, there are a lot of good fighters out there, but to me, they need to get busy. They need to stop thinking that they can walk on water. They need to get busy and get active and stay active and stop taking these long layoffs. But that's my 2 cents.
All right. Thank you for coming up. BA Money Group, close us out. What you got for the show?
Man, I'm just gonna repeat what I've been saying. I just feel like a lot of black opinions are unbalanced. There's no point in criticizing black fighters if you only criticize black fighters. That was my ultimate point. It's not that you can't criticize black fighters. It's just if and then the excuse of, hey, well, I only watch black fighters, that's why I only criticize. That's not good enough. Because if that's the case, stop watching boxing. Go back to baseball. Go back to whatever wherever the collection of monkeys that So some of you people came from. That where you only talk trash about each other and stuff like that. Go back over there. Boxing used to be a place where blacks used to root for each other to beat the other guy, whoever he was. You know what I mean? And I miss those days. Now it's just a bunch of old suckers and monkey ass niggas who have nothing but negative stuff to say about the fighters. So that's all I got.
All right. Thank you coming up here, VA Money Group. Hope you join us again next week for the show. Shout out to everybody that took their time out and came on the panel today. Shout out to the people in the chat that decided to come and join me today. Shout out to everybody that contributed in the Cash App. Your support is very much appreciated. So shout out to everybody that has subscribed to the channel, has liked it, has shared a video and helping me to grow my channel. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody's contribution to the channel. Listen, I hope everybody enjoyed themselves today. I'm Jay, and stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next live stream.